Well, good evening, New York Jet fans, NFL fans, and happy Super Bowl weekend. It is February 12th, 2022, 5:04 p.m., and we are about 25 and a half hours away from kickoff on Super Bowl 46 in Los Angeles, where the LA Rams will be the visiting team, Cincinnati Bengals will be the home team, um, in a game that has been hyped for the last 2 weeks. Um, the Rams are in the Super Bowl about 3 or 4 years ago. They lost to the Patriots. I think it was like 13-3 or something. Very slow, very weird, um, boring Super Bowl, if you will. Um, but as a Jet fan, I'll take any Super Bowl that our team is in. Um, but so you have the Rams with Matthew Stafford, and Matthew Stafford, of course, paid his dues in Detroit, and now he stepped up and is on the biggest stage um, that any NFL quarterback could be on. Also, you have Joe Burrow, the young kid, second year, coming back from major knee injury. And Stafford is no no stranger to injuries either. He had them throughout his career. So you have these tale of two quarterbacks. Stafford, who is probably, I mean, not close to retirement, but on the upper swing of his career in his first Super Bowl, and then you have Joe Burrow, who's in his second year um, in the league and in the Super Bowl, and I'm looking forward to it. I think this is going to be a great game. Um, you have Odell Beckham, you have Jamar Chase, you have Aaron Donald. It's just a great matchup on both sides. Um, right now, the Rams, I believe, are favored by 4.5 or 4 points. It started off at 4.5. I believe it's 4. Some of the people on FAN yesterday said that it would go down to probably 3.5. I think it was Brandon Tierney said it probably get to 3.5 before game time. Um, I'm rooting for the Bengals just because I'd like to see Cincinnati do it. Um, they say the storyline is very close to the Jets. They were 2-14 2 years ago. They won 4 games last year, and now this year they're in the Super Bowl. Um, the Jets were, you know, 2-14 last year. They won 4 games this year, and we need to take a step next year. But this is about the Super Bowl right now. Um, I think it's going to be a close game. I think offensively, Cincinnati has to keep up with Donald getting to Burrow and get the running game going to get Burrow some time and to use that play action and let the defense respect the run for Burrow to open up. I do think early on the Rams may have an early lead. I think they'll and you can see where I'm leading where here, where the Rams may have like a 7 or 9 point lead, maybe even 10 point lead early. I don't think the game is over at that point. Um, I think Cincinnati is going to win the game in a not a not a not an airtight blow away win, and not a very tight game where it's going to come down to possibly overtime. Um, I do think the kickers will be involved, both kickers. Uh, I think there was something like both kickers combined for 21 field goal attempts in the playoffs this year. So you're talking they're all they were in the Rams are in 2 games because they were the number one seed, and the Bengals were in 3 games. So in 5 games, 21 field goals. So you're averaging a little 4.25, 4.2 field goals a game between the two teams combined. So each team is combined for 2 field goals a game. Each team has 2 field goals a game, 2.1 each. Um, it's all about the math. But anyway, my call is Matthew Stafford makes more mistakes than Joe Burrow. I think you're looking at a Stafford pick. or Stafford strip sack. Um, and I'm not going to say that Burrow is not going to be under pressure with Donald on the other end, but I think Burrow knows how to protect the ball better. I think he's more athletic, and I think his youthfulness compared to Stafford. Or Stafford, by all means, is not an old man, but I think Burrow will outrun the defense. And they've been down in games. They were down to um, Tennessee. They were down. Um, I think they were down to Tennessee. That was one game I really didn't watch. I actually saw the last play to kick. They were down to Kansas City. So uh, I think Cincinnati is riding a high. I think the whole city, because they have not had the Bengals in the Super Bowl since Boomer Esiason in I think it was 80, 88, 89. Um, and you know, you got to think, they just riding this high. Yes, the Rams were in it a few years ago. McVay has been there. Stafford hasn't been there, and I think Burrow being the rookie, and I'm going to say rookie because he's only been in 2 years. He has not been subjected to high pressure games, and that may work in his favor. Where Stafford has had some issues in the past. Um, so here's my call. Stafford throws or turns the ball over twice. I think Burrow throws it over once or less. Um, I think both teams show uh, strength on defense. It's going to take a few big plays to break. Both teams are not scared to put their kicker out there for long kicks. And what I'm going with is Cincinnati 27, the Rams 23. Um, I'm even thinking maybe Cincinnati, 24, and the Rams 20, and the Rams 17. I think for the most part, after the Rams put some points on the board, they're held at bay. This is just my opinion, and I'm a little bit favoring the AFC. I want Cincinnati to win again. They've been an underdog for many years. Um, the Cleveland football and Cincinnati football, Ohio football, ironically, where the Hall of Fame is, has not had success winning championships in recent years. This is the third time for Cincinnati being there. Um, three times a charm, and it's funny because um, you look at these things and in sports, being the superstitions and all that, and I want to say something like um, the Cubs are in the World Series. I think it was 2018. I'm trying to remember when they were in the World Series, or 2015. Um, the numbers meant something, and the amount of threads on a baseball added up to the amount of years they won in the World Series, and um, you know, this year is the year of the Tiger, um, and it's the Bengals are in the playoffs, and the Bengals are in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's just so many, I don't know, things you could pull out. I mean, you could say anything. The Rams are playing in their home stadium, and yet they're the visitors. Um, so, listen, I'm going with how I feel. I'm going with what I think. And I sat there and I watched the Jets, and Mike effing White beat the Bengals. Excuse me. I see them go head to head with the Bengals, and the Bengals put up 5 touchdowns, I think, that day, and the Jets matched them and beat them. So is this team beatable? Yeah, the Jets beat them. The Jets beat the Titans also. Um, so what I'm trying to say is that it's as a Jet fan, I'm looking at positives, but um, Cincinnati wins this game. They win by a minimum of 6, and probably no more than 9. I don't think they win by 10 or more. No more than 9. Um, I think Joe Burrow will be the MVP. I think he's going to throw or combine for at least 3 touchdowns. Um, you know, I think Stafford is going to have um, very stable numbers. Maybe one TD, 1 or 2 turnovers. Maybe 189 yards in the air, and that's not going to cut it. Um, so Cincinnati wins. I think it'll be great for the city. The other thing that they pulled out, the actor that played Dr. Johnny Fever at WKRP in Cincinnati died like the night before the AFC Championship game or the night of the AFC Championship game. So it's like all these things had it coming full circle, and just yeah, I mean you can pull anything out and try to make it match, but right now I think Cincinnati's riding the high. I think they are going to put a good game plan. The defensive coordinator comes from Staten Island. Um, Went to Wagner High School in college. He was the JV coach, I believe, at Wagner High School. So he has roots from New York, from Staten Island. So that's another reason why I'm rooting for them. And I like Boomer, and I'm rooting for Boomer. Boomer was 39 seconds away from beating Montana and Rice, and that was a game where Montana goes, "Hey, look, John Candy." So I'm hoping that not that it means anything to me, but I'm hoping that Cincinnati can win only because to see a city um, that's you know hasn't seen many championships. You had the Cavaliers maybe 8 years ago, um, the Indians. I don't know when, and then they lost to the white the Cubs. So this city has been yearning for a championship. Cincinnati has had big backing. They came to impress on Halloween when they played the Jets. They were all in their tiger gear and their face painted and the big hats and all that. So I give them props. Um, and as a Jet fan, I just look and they showed like a rally. They said something like um, they had a Super Bowl rally at the stadium where the Bengals played. There was 20,000 people there, and then they had a Super Bowl rally in L.A. and the Rams had like 2,000 people there. And you're talking about a city where the Rams have the Lakers, the Dodgers, and well, the Kings and the Clippers or whatever. They have many sports um, franchises. So maybe the Rams being in the Super Bowl is just not this big of a deal. Um, I actually know a few people who were LA Ram fans and St. Louis fans here in New York, and I'm wishing them good luck. But I think about the Jets and the years that we got to the AFC Championship game, and they did uh, pep rally before the New England game in the 2010-11 season, and then they did a send off to the AFC Championship game in Pittsburgh, and I just cannot imagine what the 2 weeks would be like. First of all, the 2 weeks couldn't go fast enough for most of us Jet fans, and also I think the 2 weeks would just be something you wanted to take in and enjoy it. And Brandon Tierney and Tiki do a show on the afternoon of WFAN, and Brandon said in '98, he was, I guess he was in his teens or his young 20s, and he had season tickets or he had tickets to the Jets, and he went to the '98 game, playoff game against Jacksonville, and he said the Denver game he was all set. They were making plans, and he said I just thought it was going to be, um, me just celebrating for 2 weeks before the Super Bowl and then go to the Super Bowl, and now he says as an adult it's going to be a little different. He goes, I don't know how I would handle it, what I would do, maybe take my son. Um, I just can't imagine those 2 weeks. Um, and I know for me, my Jets in the Super Bowl, our Jets in the Super Bowl, I'm not going to the game. and I've always said that. I said that in um, '09. I said that in 10. I want to be home. I want to do what I do when I'm watching them from home. I want to be comfortable. I don't want the pressure of trying to travel to the city, lock in seats. And if I go to the Super Bowl, I want good seats. I'm not sitting up high. You know, I rather watch the game from home and enjoy it with my girls and my family and hopefully see a win. Um, but I just cannot imagine the fandom and Jet Nation um, for those 2 weeks. And I hope one day I get to see it. I was born 3 years after my um, the Jets won the Super Bowl. I was born in '72. Um, I saw the Mud Bowl. Didn't realize how close we were back then because I was so young. I saw '86. When they were up by 10, and we blew that 10-point lead with 4.4 minutes left. I saw '98 when we were up by 10 in the third quarter. Um, '09 when I think we were up by 7 at one point. No, I'm sorry, 10 at one point and 9 at one point, and then just before the half, the Colts scored, and that was it. Um, Pittsburgh, where I still say that first and goal, those four downs from inside the 5, when Sanchez's helmet wasn't working, he needs to call that quarterback bootleg and walk in like he did 3 weeks earlier, 4 weeks earlier. Um, so I've been there, you've been there. Um, I just I just have the hope and faith that we get to see this and we get to enjoy it. You know, I remember the Rangers in '94, and that was just ecstasy because they had a team that was built. And if you remember, any Ranger fans remember, they didn't make the playoffs the year before. Um, and they went through winning, having the best record in the league the next year, home ice, winning the first 5 playoff games, winning the first um, 8 out of 9 playoff games, going to a game 7 after being down 3 games to 2 and beating the Devils in double overtime twice, and then being up 3 games to 1 and then going to a game 7 and pulling it off. And just the city was amazing, and it's what's crazy. And, a lot of people don't remember this, or a lot of people may remember this, but if you're just a Jet fan, you may not. Um, the At this time, the Yankees were actually in first place in '94, and of course there was a lockout. Ironically, a lockout. Um, the Knicks were in the NBA Finals, um, and I think it was against the Houston Rockets. They went, um, I think they went 6 or 7 games, and they lost. And the Jets, I'm sorry, and the Rangers won in 7. And the day of the Ranger parade, which was one of the hottest days I could ever remember, and Broadway was just filled with people, and just people high fiving and people cheering. I mean, you just grab somebody and you hug them and you high five them and everything, and you see the cup and you see everything, and then you go home to watch the Knick game, and there's O.J. Simpson in his white Bronco driving, down the California highway like a movie. So, I saw that ecstasy. I'm not a Met fan. I'm a Yankee fan. And as a kid, I remember Chris Chambliss's walk-off home run to win the pennant. I remember Bucky Dent hitting a home run against the Red Sox. I remember the Yankees winning the World Series a few times in the '70s, losing in '81. But I remember the '86 Mets, and I have a lot of my friends. My best friend is a Met fan. His whole family Met fans. And I remember watching them clinch the NL East. I remember them watching them, go to extra innings against Houston and go into the World Series. And then I remember watching them in Game 6, down to the last strike, and forcing, you know, um, um, uh, a win, and with literally one strike left, one strike on the scoreboard. Congratulations, World Series champions, 1986. Boston Red Sox played at me and Pro yesterday, and then they win Game 7 and the parade for Game 7 and ecstasy. Um, and that's all I want. I don't need a Yankee dynasty. I don't need a Patriot dynasty. Give me a successful team and sprinkle in some championships, and I will be happy. And hope I hope that I get to enjoy that with my family. I hope that we get to see that soon. I will talk about the team next week after the recap of the Super Bowl, and I'll tell you what I think we need to do. Um, and that's it. So enjoy the Super Bowl. Remember, we are the Takeoff. You could send me an email at the Jets Takeoff at gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is at the Takeoff. We are on Facebook. The Facebook group is the Takeoff. We are on YouTube. This you can subscribe to this video, retweet it, share it with your friends, send us comments. It's called the Takeoff. Alex Pazziali. Subscribe to it. I'd love to hear. What are you doing for the Super Bowl? What are you serving? In my house, we're gonna have um, maybe 3 or 4 people come over. My daughter's friends, I think, are stopping by, and my in-laws are stopping by. My daughter's boyfriend, I believe, will be here. It's gonna be maybe 5 of us, 6 of us. Nothing big, but we'll have Super Bowl food and we'll watch the games and watch the commercials. And anybody who was born in the 70s and 80s, this halftime show is going to be off the hook. Um, so enjoy yourselves, be safe, be responsible. If you're out partying, please don't drink and drive. Um, take an Uber. They're so, anything's easy to get. Have a blessed day, have a blessed week, a blessed week, however you say it. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I hope you hit your Super Bowl pools and your boxes. Um, and I will speak to you probably Monday or Tuesday. Recap the Super Bowl. Look at the review of the New York Jets season, um, and look forward to where they're going. So take care. Check us out. The Takeoff. God bless. Talk to you soon.